Welcome back to the Chop Shop, everybody. I'm out here hooking up equipment to do a really cool firewood episode today, and I just got tore up on the backside of the neck by some wasp. So you can see them crawling all out of here. Turns out there is a good sized nest up in there that had a bunch of them on it. And you can see I've got spray everywhere. Dead wasp. Some falling out there. Look at all of them hung up on the nest in there. That's a pretty good sized nest. So needless to say, I was right here hooking up to the tractor log splitter because I've been wanting to try out the Solis H24 and this log splitter again from American CLS because we changed the pump on a while back and it's so fast and works so good. What I didn't realize is while I was sitting here with the tractor vibrating and hooking up and my neck is right here, they come swarming out and lit me up. It would have been pretty funny if I was recording. Funny thing is, I already had to spray another nest down here. This is what happens when you take a little break and don't work. And I already had my new solution down here. Soap, believe it or not, soap and water, that's it. Dish soap, you hit them with that, they're usually dead within seconds and they can't fly off. So I already had it down here because, well, there was wasp on the Bobcat, which I've been using. I don't know where these wasp nests are coming from. Welcome to Florida, right? Oh, it's also about the storm. So this episode may take me 2 days to take. Real quick, we're gonna try something new today. Now that we have an excavator, I've got a stack of cherry logs that you just seen me grab. The last cherry that I have, I'm sure we'll get more. And I'm actually gonna use my excavator, one of the reasons I bought it, to hold logs up off the ground, cut them, and I'll tell you about another attachment that I have coming to help with that. So I can swing them from out there, under here, cut them, don't get my bar in the dirt, don't throw my back out, and just pile them up right here for the tractor splitter. This should be really smooth for my operation and increase my production even more, especially since we have such a fast hydraulic pump on this splitter now. All right, so before we jump into cutting up some firewood and testing out that excavator, I want to make a modification to the tractor splitter. So if y'all have been watching me run this for a while now, we've modified the pump because there's two different models available for it. Now we're running the large model on a 24-horse tractor and it works beautifully. We thought it was going to be too big, it is not. And while I've been splitting with this splitter, I noticed there is a gap over here and occasionally, which you maybe can see it right here with the camera, occasionally wood's falling off in between that gap on the ground. Not a big deal. So I reached out to Mr. Larry, the owner of American CLS, and said, is there anything we can close that gap with? Because right here, he sent me a plate a while back to close this gap up. He said, yeah, that's one of the accessories we offer for this if somebody wants a larger or extended plate. Well, look what showed up in the mail right here. This is a big clamp-on plate right here, and it goes to the beam, which is going to go to the lower section of the beam. So what we've got to do is remove this log catch right here. This keeps logs from rolling down the ramp and hitting you or rolling off on your feet. So this is a small one that comes with the splitter, and we're going to go to this large model, which I'm excited about. It closes the gap up, but still gives me a plate to slide wood back and forth. That's another thing I love about my log splitter over here, the Animal. When you've got a full extended plate all the way up to these front catch pans, as you split wood, you just slide it back and forth, pop another piece, slide something over. I like having the gap closed up for that reason. All right, so here is the old log catch. Nice and simple to remove. And here's that other catch insert that I put in that clamps from the bottom. I don't think y'all could see it a minute ago. And here is the new very heavy duty. I mean, this thing is thick. Robust pan right here, and you see it pinches on the bottom with those large screws. Let me loosen those up. All right, so still got to get underneath here and tighten these bolts, which pinches it, you know, right against the beam right here. And as you can see now, I love that. As we split wood and it falls off here, I can just slide a piece right back, split it again. Now, no open gap over here and a very small gap over there that wood shouldn't fall through as well since we closed it up with this piece. All right, so here's my thought process on this. I'll start staging wood up here, preferably bring it down with a tractor and grapple because it travels so much quicker than the excavator does. put what I want in a pile. Today, this is all cherry. That's what I'm after. And then we'll get distracted with dragonflies just lighting on my fingers. Then I'll mark it up, pull the excavator out, pick a piece up, extend it out under the barn. So nice to do with that long arm that I got on my excavator. Cut it while it's in the air with the chainsaw that's over there running. Swing back around, grab another piece, and just have it all dropping right over there by the splitter where I want it. So I'm gonna use my old Mingo marker here. I've been using this thing forever, I love it. And we're gonna drop some paint dots on this, preferably on the top, because when I grab this with the excavator, I need to leave the dots up top so I know how to cut them. And by the way, I was telling y'all something I got coming. I bought a 12-inch bucket and a 36-inch bucket for two completely different uses. Right now I have a 24-inch, so that's gonna create a little bit of a problem today. Because I'm cutting my firewood every 16 inches, I'm gonna grab on one of the dots with that large of a bucket. There's just no way around it. So I can't cut either side of it. I will have to drop one piece and cut it on the ground. No big deal. All the rest of it, I'm gonna cut up in the air, out of the dirt, save my back, all that good stuff. But I've got a 12-inch bucket coming that I'm gonna put on just for doing firewood, because then I can grab in between two of these dots that I'm dropping and cut on either side of the bucket with a chainsaw. That's gonna be the perfect bucket, I think, for doing firewood and for ripping out stumps and other things. All right, we'll get some nice even pieces there. I'm gonna go ahead and mark everything that I can that's straight up in the air. All right, that worked out awesome. We got a nice pile of cherry. Again, this is the last cherry that I have, so that's what I'm focused on today. Thanks to that right there. Now, that's not the main reason I bought an excavator. You need lots of reasons to justify buying one. But holding up and moving firewood, now I can pick it off the top of these big mounds down there, stack stuff, pull small pieces out, go after a certain type of wood, and get in there with a much longer reach and more precision than I ever could with a tractor. Plus, holding it up, I can cut in the air. It's nice and safe. It's not throwing my back out. Yes, I know, nice and safe. I did not use my chaps, y'all. It is well over 100 degrees here with crazy high humidity. Oh, I'm just burning up, just not wearing thick clothes right now. I'm taking a risk, I know. The other nice thing about having this excavator is, y'all, some of the rounds down there are huge. I can cut one chunk off and it'll still be 200 to 300 pounds. Well, that's a nightmare. Now I can pick it up with the excavator, put it over by the splitter, have it set up on its side, Again, not having to throw my back out, do nothing crazy. And what I'm gonna work on here in the future, especially as I get into this larger firewood, another reason I want an excavator, I'm gonna get me a splitter for the front side of the excavator. So I can go out there and set a large firewood round on the ground out here, anywhere, preferably by the building, cut me these big 200 to 300 pound chunks off, and then put a splitter on the end of the excavator and just pop them all into thirds, quarters, something like that, which is nice, manageable, easy pieces. Or I'll just do it up underneath here, put the big rounds in here, pop them all up, and then I've got something I can physically handle, get over to the splitter without throwing my back out. I tell you what, the more and more I use this combination, the more I start appreciating it. It sips fuel, that splitter is super fast, and I'm portable. I'm actually gonna start using this to go help, like say my father, some friends, and start putting this on the trailer and going and doing some rapid splitting. Plus you got the forks or a root rake on the front, so if you need to move some stuff around while I'm splitting off site, I think I'm gonna have some fun doing that. we are completely empty over here, and we wound up with a perfectly full, and this is a very large tote, so this is more than 1/3 of a cord. Most of my totes are about this tall, but occasionally you'll get some of these really, really tall ones. Speaking of totes, yeah, like I'm out. I have one more. Yeah, I gotta find some more ASAP. Sadly, a lot of that's got a little bit of rot and some other stuff in it because I cut up a rotten and dead tree, but that's gonna make excellent firewood. I think what you see all out here, that's good quality heartwood. Most of it's barkless. I'll save that for cooking. And with that said, I still have some good cooking wood in here as well. Luckily, this stuff dries really, really quick. In a few months, we can actually burn it this winter, as long as I go ahead and get it over there in the sun and let it start baking. See, y'all, I can't brag enough on this setup. This American CLS tractor splitter is so crazy fast now with that 21 gallon a minute pump that we upgraded it to. And I should also mention, I never revved the tractor all the way up to full capacity today. So the speed you were seeing, that's where the tractor idled down. I could have went up several hundred more RPMs, but why? It was fast enough for me, saves fuel, tractor doesn't have to work as hard. I love it. And did y'all catch how well the pan worked? Splitting stuff, drop here, slide it back, use this kind of like a magazine, fill up, slide another piece back. This is the way I want it. Now you do kind of butt up against it as you're working, but I didn't find it a problem. If it was any further out, I think it would interfere with how close I like to stand to the wood, but I would much, much rather have this than the little stop that was there. But they offer both, so kind of your personal preference. And the little tractor did great, y'all. I've been out here splitting, you know, a good little while, and I don't think the fuel gauge dropped at all. Let's see where it's at. It's got a little Mitsubishi diesel in it, and it just sips fuel, even with me out here splitting wood. Yeah, it's still climbing, still climbing. Still going on up toward full. Like, I didn't hardly use any diesel splitting all this up. And that's got a relatively small tank in it, but that's all it needs. So like I said, this is one awesome little package. I think I'm going to start doing some traveling with it, maybe more in the fall whenever it cools off, and we're going to do some fun splitting with this setup right here. Speaking of fall and cooling off, y'all, I mean, I am soaking wet. I stink. I'm hot. It's middle of the day. This was not a good idea. I might start splitting in the mornings. This fan was doing nothing but blowing hot air on me. Then it would rain. It rained 3 times while I was splitting. Then the sun would come out and it gets steamy. We've got to come up with a good way to get some fans out here. And I'm not thinking fans in the roof anymore is going to work, because if you'll look at these banners and flags behind me, they're blowing. So if you get a fan way the heck up there, by the time it's trying to blow air down with cross breeze, it's going to blow the air out. So I'm either going to have to go get me some better floor fans or something I can mount on posts, or probably a really good pedestal fan, like a really good quality one, so I can continue to split through the summer, because it's been miserable today. All right, y'all, fun episode. Chainsaws, tractors, splitters, and excavators. What more could you ask for? And I just got a call from the Bobcat dealer that I bought my excavator from. My 12-inch bucket's in stock. They're actually delivering it to me right now, along with my 36-inch bucket. So that means the next time we do firewood, I'll have my thin bucket to try out. No longer have to drop pieces on the ground. Can cut everything from the air. All that works out so nice. My back is saved. So good. So we've got a lot of big plans for the excavator in the future, working out here in the chop shop.